You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good team.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Capture After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Capture After Show.
Bing is for doing, and today we are doing Capture Season 1, Episode 2, Hunger Strikes. This is Capture, not to be confused with Hunger Games, even though they named the second episode Hunger Strikes. Anyways, to get right into it, my name is Keetin Marchi, and I have some amazing co-hosts here today with me. James, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm James Wallington from the Lime team.
Woo!
I'm Donald Romain, and today we have a special guest, Jarick from the Gray team.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, great team. I know it was kind of awkward for me to meet Jarick because I kind of gave the Gray team a hard time last week, and he's like, he met me for the first time, and he's like, I listened to the after show last week, and I was like, ugh. But he's really, really nice, and he has his smile in person is even prettier than it is on TV. So.
Just buttering him up.
So, what are you guys' first impressions of episode 2? How are you feeling about Capture?
Oh boy, I knew going into it that this is going to be a pretty intense episode, having been there and being there to experience it firsthand. I thought it was good. I mean, of course, it's starting to escalate and pick up. The drama's there. You start seeing more relationships forming. For sure. So I liked it overall. It was very intense.
I would have to agree. I think that the second episode was a lot more interesting. There was a lot more details to the game. We got a lot more information. I felt like there was a lot of things that helped out in the second episode to understand the situation and the context of the game. We're going to talk about it a little later, but there were certain elements that were added in the hunt. There were elements of the camp that we learned about. I felt like we got to finally meet the white team, which was exciting.
There's a white team, guys.
There's a white team. It was Kaliesha has such a big personality. It was great to see it. I would have to say that the only thing that I wish is that on the opening credit, I wish they showed the teams in the names so that we could just relate to the teams
like they do
more.
for more shows.
And for Survivor.
Yeah, maybe
that
read out the
cool.
teams that got eliminated like the Mole did back in the day. I don't know, but I love it.
No. You keep those teams in. You just make them black and white.
Or black and white
black
tint.
and white tint, and then the other teams are in color.
Well, a couple shades of gray.
We love gray today. We're all wearing gray, representing
support
the Gray team.
Gray is in.
All different shades of gray.
Right?
What do you think, Keetin?
Oh, I agree with you guys. I enjoyed this episode a lot more. I really thought these new concepts of the game really kind of it helped us understand. It got us more into the game. I loved that we got to see a little bit more about the teams, because I think that's I think all of these teams are great characters for reality television, and the more I get to know them, the more I like them, and the more I love to hate them.
Yes.
So, and I think that's what makes for good reality television is the cast. So now that this cast is kind of able to come out a little bit of their shells, I mean, there's so many of them, and I still feel like I want to know more, but it's finally allowing us to get to know them a little more, and I really like that. But Jarick, what do you feel like? It was your last episode with Capture.
But it was fun because I knew of all the drama that happened those days, but I didn't know who started it. For example, I had no idea who sabotaged the blue team, and everyone had their game face. Everyone had a good face and said, no, it wasn't me. So I literally had no idea. And it was fun. I had no idea it was the purple team. And, to see, I was happy that Kaliesha and the white team and Matt, they were announced. And, it was fun. It was a very intense episode. Unfortunately, we were caught. I loved our chase scene, though. It looked good. I couldn't even stand still when it was going on. I felt like I was there again. I was hoping for a different result, even though I knew what actually happened. It was one of those things, but it was fun. It was a good episode.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the teams and kind of how what we thought of each of the teams, purple definitely still seems like they're in the forefront of the competition right now. I mean, they were an amazing hunt team last week. They showed that, hey, we got a lot of like energy and power and stuff. Then this week they're the first people to get to the sabotage.
The advantage point.
Yeah, the advantage point. And they're not scared. They go and immediately sabotage the blue team, who is like, in you guys' minds at this point, is one of the stronger teams out there.
Absolutely.
So I mean, what did you guys think of the purple team this episode?
Ryan and Erica are definitely smart players, and it's fun, I think, for viewers to see the hunt team go into being the prey team, and I think that they do really well. I think Ryan and Erica have this way to just adapt to their surroundings. Absolutely. And I think since they had the first episode to be the hunt team, they had a better idea of where to go and where to hide after seeing us all do it in the first hunts.
I would have to agree. I think purple team is definitely scary for all the other teams. They're smart, they're athletic, they can get from one end to the map faster than anybody else. They got to the advantage point, they got to the supply station, they weren't caught, they were all over the place. Seeing them hop from rock to rock, I think
they make it look so easy.
Is that how they traveled across the course, or did they just grab the scenes of them hopping on rocks and just continuously play those? Like, is that really how they ran and walked?
Who knows? Who knows? There was a lot of rocks out there. I mean, I love the purple team. Definitely, we were chased by them first with the yellow team, and they shocked me. Like, I had no idea that when we were running up that hill, I was like, please don't let me get caught today. I don't want to get caught at all, but I was just like, I don't want to be the first team caught. And, I mean, they're fast, they're quick. It was even more exciting to see them as the prey team and just kind of see how they're going to operate on the course.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to go far, but I want to talk about the white team because we finally got to meet them, Matt and Kaliesha.
Yay, Matt and Kaliesha.
And they're hardcore. They're both into MMA. They're both into boxing.
Mm-hmm.
She's definitely not weak. She doesn't care about the elements of the force.
She definitely wears the pants in that
relationship.
relationship.
Yes, she does. Yes,
Definitely.
When she said shh, and then he's like, and he
She's
turned
like,
away.
you're breathing too much.
I was like, but I mean, I support it. I'm glad that they're so hardcore because after not seeing them in the first episode, I got the impression that maybe they weren't characters, maybe they weren't strong people, but they definitely have personalities. And I mean, we'll talk about it later when we get to the preview of next week's, but Kaliesha has a mouth on her, and I'm excited to see her use it.
Me too.
My opinion of Matt and Kaliesha, I know last week when I called in, I said they were definitely scary just by their builds. I knew something was up with them. I thought they were martial artists, and then, of course, they're fighters. For me, Matt and Kaliesha, just like Ryan and Erica, balance each other out so well. I think there's just this dynamic between the two of them where they just work. They mesh well. And I think it's so cute when you see Matt helping Kaliesha, like I do with my sister, just helping her down the rock or like over stuff. And I just think that says a lot about their relationship.
Gentleman.
He's a gentleman.
He is a gentleman.
He is a gentleman.
But she definitely
But she still wears pants.
It is her way or the highway, and I respect that girl.
We really like you, Matt. We like both of you guys.
Matt, you're my dog. So I love the white team, and to see them, and I love you could tell that Matt pushes Kaliesha as well. So even though Kaliesha may wear the pants in the relationship, I think was the first scene you see Matt is like, come on, Kaliesha, and she's struggling, breathing hard, and that's a good dynamic to have, to be able to push each other, and being into MMA fighting, boxing, and all that stuff. It's you know how to go through it. So I think that's definitely their advantage, that they can.
Lord help you guys, or Lord help Lime team, or Lord help all the teams when they are the hunt team.
Yes,
that is a scary team coming at you,
when
man.
I see
that
the
is
white
a scary team.
I see all the teams in the jail cell all together. They're gonna catch everyone.
I just see these MMA fighters coming at me like with these. I'm like, no.
Oh, no.
I would just stop and be like, okay, I can give up.
I give up.
Please don't hurt me. Well, another team that kind of was a big subject of controversy this episode was the blue team. Who, you guys, I know people were hating on the blue team because they were such jerks this episode, but I love that they did that. I love that they stirred the pot. I love that they sabotaged the food. I think those type of moves are what are going to keep you in the game, and they're going to push you ahead. And then even though everybody thinks the blue team did it, I think by the end, I mean, did you guys still think the blue team was the one who sabotaged it, or did you guys kind of be like, oh, we can't really figure it out?
At first, for Rebecca and I, we were like, well, it would make more sense for it to be the blue team. It was just so obvious. I'm like, why would they do it? It's that that obvious. And then I kind of questioned maybe it was Chris and Nick. I thought it was the Gold team just trying to get more people to be anti-blue. I thought it was a good game move for Gold to do that. But in my head, I was like, I really do know it's blue, though, because it's just so obvious that Eric and Shane would be the ones to do that. But since I'm a huge, I love games and strategies and watching reality shows, I got to hand it to them. It was a good game move. They're absolutely sabotaging everybody. But in that moment, everyone was a little heated about it, and rightfully so.
Everyone was hungry, but I think it's refreshing to have the blue team on the show because they seem to be the only team who is having the most fun. Everyone is taking the show so seriously. And they seem to realize that they're on a game and they're going to do whatever they can to spice things up. And that's exciting. And I want to see what they have to do in the future. But, I was pretty mad when I saw him throwing those sandwiches. But at the same time, I had to respect him for, throwing a wrench in everybody else's plans, making everybody else hungry, stirring it up.
Can I tell you, those sandwiches looked so good. I got Subway today because I was craving it after watching that episode. I was like, man, I wanted some of that.
It definitely wasn't your regular sub sandwich. I would have loved to have had one. To see that in the water definitely hurt my feelings. But Tremana and I, we definitely were like, the blue definitely did it. We just...
No question.
There was no question. Once Gold's Chris and Nick said that only pink and blue had been there, I was like, there's no way that the pink team would do that. So
nope.
Would you guys have done the same thing if you got there?
No.
Never.
Are you kidding?
Really? Not at all?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Would I throw the subs in the water?
Would you have eaten some?
Would you, James?
I think it would have been funny if Rebecca and I were the ones that did that. If Rebecca and I threw the subs,
I'd be like, no way.
We didn't do anything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No one would ever suspect you.
That would have been really good. But speaking of Tremana, I think she might actually have just called in to join us. Hello?
No, not quite. It's Kaliesha from the white team. Okay, first off, hold on. Let me just clear this, okay? I hear you on the whole leave everybody to starve and whatnot, and that was a good strategy. That wasn't that good of a strategy, and I'll tell you why. Because, you're mad over someone who sabotages you. One team sabotaged you, not the whole village. The blue team sabotaged the entire village.
True.
So now you have how many teams? 9 teams after you. You have a target on your head from 9 teams. That was just stupid.
Yeah.
I have to agree with you, Kaliesha.
Hey,
hold on. Shout outs to Gray. Gray team, they didn't tell their story, but I love you, Jarick and Tremana. You guys were amazing. The little time we did have, I know my hair looked really fresh in episode 2. That was because of Tremana. She did my hair. Even from the jail, she did my hair. So, of course I had to give her my vote for that.
You should have let me help you out, too.
I really believed in what Jarick was fighting for. And overall, they were great people. And on elimination, came across in a homophobic way, which was far from the truth. I know, by talking to them in the village, that they're very, very far from any type of negativity. When Jarick called them, said, "Watch out for the Blue Devils." I mean, we were basically all calling them Blue Devils after that, because that was so true. And overall, I just wanted to show my love and call in.
Appreciate you.
I'm glad you called in, Kaliesha,
Thanks,
because
Kaliesha.
I have mad respect for you for calling out the blue team.
Absolutely.
When they came to the jail cell and you were like, who threw it in the water? I was proud of you. I'm glad you called them out.
And you scared them.
Yeah.
They were scared.
I was at home scared.
The thing is, I don't like to fight quiet. I don't like to just take it all in. If I have an issue with anyone, I will bluntly tell you, hey, why would you do that? Or, hey, I would approach you about it because I'd like to hear what you have to say. It's not like I'm going to all out want to fist fight you knowing my profession. No way. It's just that I'm not afraid to confront people about it and whatnot. But, that was a whole other story.
Kaliesha, can I just say one thing? I love your intensity. You got me so amped up right now.
You do.
I'm so with this mug, but I'm so amped.
You say that in such a
Kaliesha, thank you so much for calling in. I think Tremana's going to try to get in through the phone line in a bit, but we miss you.
Okay, no problem.
Bye,
Take care.
Kaliesha.
Come and join us here.
Thank you for having me call in and whatnot. And go great team.
Oh, thanks, Kaliesha. We'll have you join us in the studio sometime soon.
All right, take care.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Thanks for calling.
Even more of a fan now. Even more of a fan.
Great.
She's real, and I enjoy that.
Yeah.
And she's saying it like it's real. Okay. Another.
Oh, we have another caller. Is this Tremana?
Hello, hello.
What's up, Trey? Trey,
Oh, can you mute your
you
computer?
gotta mute it, Trey. I can hear Kaliesha again.
I can hear you.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi.
What's up, girl?
Good evening, everyone.
I'm so glad you're able to call in, even with you just getting your wisdom teeth pulled out.
As am I. I didn't take any of my meds, so I'm a little sore right now, but I am rocking
gosh.
just like I was on Capture.
You're a rock star.
We got intensity.
No
Why,
kidding.
thank you. I thank you.
Great
Well,
team.
we have already kind of discussed our overall thoughts of the episode. What were your thoughts?
So I think it depicted our struggle quite well. I mean, you're out there and, like, you've only been through, 2 days of, a hunt, but you're, so close to, normal life, and you're like, what the hell did I just get myself into? Like, I just had, a burger in my hands 2 days ago, and now I have, rice and green lentils. Like, what is this, and what did I get myself into? From episode 2, it was really emotional to see myself, all teary-eyed and stuff. I am not a crier. I will, put that out there. But it definitely was very cool to kind of, see that emotional side of me and see kind of how it, played into our characters. Blue team sabotaging the food was quite reckless, and they really did put a target over their head. Who the hell does that? I mean, we're all starving. You don't take that upon yourself to just throw it all in the water.
The Blue Devils.
But, I see what, was a part of their gameplay, and so be it. It is what it is. I'm sure we'll discuss the red team nonsense later on, but that was a bunch of baloney as well, even though we get to eat any. And, yeah, that's pretty my wrap-up of the episode.
Awesome.
Awesome. Are there any other teams that really? I mean,
I think Pink.
Pink.
Pink
yes.
continues to stick out in everything they do.
I didn't know that Pink was that fast.
No.
When Kristen, it's Kristen, right?
Yeah.
When she was running through the forest, you could barely see her.
Yeah, she was out.
The camera guys were like, what is going on?
God,
She was out.
they have so much strategy that I don't know what they're doing. When they picked the fishing line at the supply, I was like, what are you gonna do with the fishing line? So they're interesting and they're exciting and they're fast.
Yeah.
I was always
I
watching
kind
them.
of thought they were going to be fast just from the way they look. Looks are always deceiving.
Yep.
And, Kristen was really quiet. Arlen was, giant but very, sweet. And I'm pretty sure that, she told us that, her dad, paid for the Patriots or something. So I was like, this girl has to have some speed on her.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to come out here in a wilderness competition not ready to run. But I definitely, it surprised me even seeing them in their episode. Their strategy to just kind of lay low and kind of crouch through things. I was like, shit, we should have tried that.
So I have a question. What was the gray team strategy?
So our strategy, Tremana and I worked out a ton before we came out there. Tremana, our working out styles are so different. I'm more of a lift weights, sprinting type of guy, and she's a yoga, long distance running type of woman. And we kind of infused our different styles together to just make us in tip top shape. And I guess our strategy was we wanted to always kind of run uphill. We figured that we were.
You wanted to run uphill?
Exactly, because who wants to run uphill? Exactly, right? It's
there,
crazy.
yeah.
So, that was our strategy too. When we were chased by the purple team, was we were next to the hill. We were like, perfect. This is our thing, and we ran up that hill, and it's tiring, but if we're getting tired, so is the team behind us. So that was our strategy to do.
So you guys got caught running up the hill.
We did get caught running up the hill. I know our strategy, hurt us, but there were
I don't think it actually hurt us. Well, I mean, I guess it did hurt us because I fell.
Yeah.
You couldn't really see how they edited it to when you saw kind of my hands on all fours. I literally tripped over a mound of dirt.
It looked like
And
he
then
tackled
Jarick-
you.
Yeah.
Did
What was
he
that?
hurt? It looked like he tackled you. Did he hurt you?
He did.
He literally hurt me. We had to wait a good 30 seconds for me to get my life together because he knocked the wind out of me.
But you see that
Which is
too.
totally against the rules, but I guess it went okay because, we got captured. But either way, literally it hurt so bad. And even after that, they had to walk us back slowly. My back was killing me.
Oh, it seems like everybody's getting hurt when they're caught. But it seems like a dangerous game. But
It is.
so you guys got caught winding up, but in the episode, it showed that the blue team had their vests going off, and you
Yes.
could hear the blue team.
Yes.
Did that scare you guys? When
So
you
yeah, because we knew about the sabotage, but
Yeah.
we didn't know. We knew it was gonna be a noise. We didn't know what it was, and you hear the noise, but you can't really tell where it's coming from because it's just open space, trees, and what have you. So we heard the noise, and we were just like, okay, let's hopefully we don't run into the blue team. Had no idea the hunt team was at all nearby, and didn't even think about it. But unfortunately,
Right,
we
our whole
ran into
strategy
them.
that day was to just lay low.
Yeah.
We weren't even trying to get to the advantage. We weren't trying to get to the supply station. We had just had a really eventful first 2 days, and we wanted to just lay low.
Let's take it
And then
easy.
poof, we get caught in the crossfire.
Yeah.
I know it seemed like pink team strategy was what ended up working against them because they would try to hide a little bit. Would you guys ever stop for a certain amount of time and then start getting anxious, oh my god, they're gonna find us?
Most definitely. I mean, stopping is a necessity. You have to do it. To run that whole time of the hunt, 3-4 hours, it's crazy. So we whenever we stopped, we would count quietly. So it would just be 1, 2, 3, 4, and we did that. If you had to go to the bathroom, we counted, and you had to finish in time.
I didn't even think about what you guys went to the bathroom out there.
hey.
That's the what?
Yeah, you gotta go. We are human.
We're
and,
back to eat every 3 minutes.
as long as you were moving in those 3
I was
minutes,
like,
right?
can you imagine that dot coming up for just going to the bathroom when they chase you and you're trying to pull up
Yeah.
your pants?
I was like,
my god.
probably my worst fear. No one wants to be caught with their pants down.
No, true story. I wonder if that ever happens throughout the entire season. That would be pretty awesome.
So we've been talking about the advantage point and the supply station. And so there were new elements that were added to the hunt. So the advantage point was whatever team got there first could choose another team for the sound to go off the vest. I thought it was really interesting and really smart of Purple to wait for Gold. And then to ask Gold, what is your opinion?
Yes.
Let's try and make you a part of this decision. And it was smart of them to choose Blue. I was shocked that Blue got away, actually.
Same.
Oh, how did that happen?
Same here.
With the way Shane runs, I don't know.
I don't want to talk to Red Team, but I really want to find out how the heck they didn't catch them.
Well, you guys heard the sound. You
I
couldn't
said
tell
the
the direction.
same thing when
Yes.
I caught up on the episode. I was like, oh my
Wow.
goodness, how could you not catch them with the sounds, the slowness, Eric's loudness? He was
Yes.
probably the most obnoxious person in the woods. You can hear him from miles away.
But it was because we caught a glimpse of the blue team, and it was when I watched it, I was so hurt. I was so hurt. I had no idea.
I thought they were going to tag the blue team out.
Do you think if you guys would have maybe in that moment of when you saw the blue team walked up to them, do you think you guys could have outrun them if you stayed close to them and tried to use that as a strategy?
I think that would have been a strategy if their vests weren't going off. I think it would have been silly to stick with them just because we didn't. The risk of just even seeing the hunt team after seeing them the first day, the first hunt, I was just like, I prefer not to see those gray vests ever again, unless I'm wearing it. So, we didn't want to do anything that could at all put us in danger.
Yeah.
So then after
But I think that it's nice to know where other folks are, but when you see a team like the blue team, you want to stay as far away from them as possible. So our whole strategy is okay, yeah, we know where they're located. They move just as fast as we do, and let's get away. I'll be honest, I don't think that I would have been able to run faster than both Shane and Eric. That day, I was really, really out of it. But I know that Jarick at least could, and so for us, it was kind of let's not even put ourselves in that position where it's going to have to be an option.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think that if I had seen a team, I might try if I thought I could outrun them, I would stay with them.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
if the blue vest was going off, I would turn the other direction,
Yeah.
and I would get as far away from them as possible.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, that's a good strategy. I feel in those moments, could you guys really think about strategy? I feel it was such high intensity during those 4 short hours of the hunt that, you can't even think about strategy then. Even if you had thought of strategy at the village, there's no way you could really comprehend it in any time of pursuit or...
Yeah.
It's hard to predict what terrain you're in, too.
Exactly.
Because it's like, I could turn around here and then I'll fall off a rock. You know what I mean? It's really just run and watch where you're running. It's not like run and let's plan where we're running. It's just like, because there was big boulders on the hunting ground. Can you imagine running and turning and then falling like 10 feet off a rock? Like, come on.
So when the gray team got captured, you had already been on the hunting grounds for 3 days, and the lime team for 4 days. Was there any sense of direction or familiarity by the time you had been out there the third and fourth time?
Kind of. Tremana and I were fond of the north side of the map because it had more trees and more areas where you could hide. Where the south was kind of more open. So we just, we didn't want to be in the line of sight at all. We didn't want someone to see us from afar and then we had no idea. But we felt if we were in the north, we'd be fine. And, when we spotted them, it was like in a small window, and they heard us. Stepping on sticks is hard to be quiet stepping on sticks, and I had no practice prior to stepping on sticks quietly, but I saw them, saw the gray vest, and my heart dropped, and it was just like, okay, just run uphill. There's the hill, go
that direction.
How deep into that day's hunt did they get you guys?
Let's see.
I feel like it's so hard with no concept of time.
It is. It's hard to remember because, like you said, there is no concept of time. There was, like, with the first hunt, it ended faster than I thought. And then when we got back, I was just like, what time is it? You have no idea. And, then it just started, the crazy weather came. But, you just have no idea what time. I would say maybe in the middle of the hunt, it might have happened. And maybe it kind of happened fairly quickly, actually.
Okay.
Dang.
So you guys still, you guys still had like a lot in you, like that's
most definitely. But the thing is, I felt that hunt was the hump that you need to get over. If you got over that hump, I'm not gonna say it would have been easier, but that was the hump that you need to get over to make it okay. Now I'm used to this, because at that point we had only had 2 hunts, so we were still kind of learning the terrain. And the first day it was pouring, the second day it was still wet out, so it was. And then this day it was dry, surprisingly, and it was just like I don't even know what to do. So it was.
And your sleeping conditions.
Yeah. Oh man.
And speaking of the sleeping conditions, it was so interesting this week to see kind of it kind of reminded me of Big Brother, how like the head of household gets like the special HOH room, where the hunt team kind of gets this lair.
Yeah.
It sounds cooler because it's a lair.
So much so their beds look so much more comfortable than your guys'
nice.
beds.
The hunter's den, I know. What I would have done for a pillow.
So we didn't get to see the hunter's den in the first episode. I have a question. When the red team were in the hunter's den and they got to bring one team up for them for the evening to socialize or whatnot, the purple team went up the first week. Who did they invite up?
They invited the pink team.
They invited the pink team up?
That's right. Because they're both from Colorado.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're both from Colorado, so it made sense.
I just want to figure out these relationships. So the red team got to bring up the teal team. Do you feel like the teal team and the red team kind of had a bond after that?
Oh, absolutely. They were chumming it up there. I had a pretty good view from the jail cell. There's not much to do. There's no television in jail. I just looked at the lights where the hunter's den.
And you had already been there for
jail songs and our jail games. We also had little topics of discussion.
You had to kill time.
Typical things you do in jail.
You had to kill time in jail.
Okay, so I want to talk about something interesting. From the time that led up to the elimination and you in the jail cell. Rob from the red team, he has a blog and he wrote about this episode and he made a comment and I want to ask you about it. He said that you hadn't even looked them in the eyes the first 3 days. And I want to know, how was your relationship with the red team and what was it about them? Because for me personally, I would have to say that their offensively aggressive attitude is what would have turned me off from them. So obviously they pinpointed what they thought you were turned off by, but I want to hear from you. How was your relationship?
Yeah, so literally, I don't recall having many conversations with them. I know there was maybe the first or second day night, Tremana was having a conversation with them, and they're funny. Those guys are funny, and I was laughing. I wasn't involved in the conversation. I was laughing, and I was like, oh, those guys are funny. Who knew? Did not know that, I didn't feel that there was any tension between us until the elimination. So that whole comment threw me off because I was just like, oh, because I even though I might not have had a sat down and be like, let's talk and learn about each other, but I felt that I wasn't at all trying to intimidate anyone in the in the village or anything like that. You know, I felt that, you know, I wanted to make it known that I was a competitor, but I wasn't trying to bully anybody. That's not me. You know, yes, it's a competition, but I didn't want to step on any toes to have anyone out for me. So, or Tremana. So.
Well, and you work with kids. You're,
Yeah.
you're not like you're not a very intimidating person.
No,
like,
right,
like
not
you're
at
a big strong guy, but you're not like.
You guys, we called Jarick the mayor because of his just energy he brought. Like you saw him when he was in the jail, like pumping up the teams as we were getting ready
That was so
for the
awesome.
day.
I was like, he wants to run too.
I did. Oh man, it was. To see the run out, I was like, no. I
He
wanna
pumped
go.
everybody up, and like that's just who
Yeah.
Jarick is. He's great.
I'm a very positive person, and I don't, you know, I was surprised. I'm still shocked by the, you know, the comment, and you know, I'm over it. You know, we didn't really get to kind of explain ourselves after it happened, but you know, I understand why it could have been seen that way, but that wasn't at all what I insinuated. You know, for them to have any type of, you know, bad blood with me. I don't think I didn't look anyone in the eye. I feel like I look at everyone in the eye, so I'm sure I looked at them. I looked at everybody because I kind of sized everyone up to see, you know, who's gonna chase me down.
Yeah.
you know?
Did they ever come down to the jail cell to talk to you?
Or
Or did because I
Not at all.
no,
No, not at all.
No love
Even
in
when
the
like
jail cell.
everybody, because I feel like that's like the first thing everybody does when everybody gets back is kind of crowd around the jail cell and kind of discuss the day's events. I don't know if that's accurate.
I
but-
mean, I'm not gonna knock them for not visiting us because you know Tremana was peaceful once put in jail. Me, not so much. So I mean, I wouldn't visit myself. In jail.
he was angry.
Yeah, I was upset, and you know, obviously, I'm sure if anyone caught anyone and they had that reaction, I'm not gonna be like, hey, so you know, tell me about how you doing today. So you know, that was understandable that they didn't show up. But I did recall I yelled towards them once we found out that blue. Once we didn't really find out, but everyone just had a good idea that the blue was the one that threw the sandwiches in the water. And I was like, red team, go get, you know, I was trying to tell them to go get the blue team. One, you know, because that would have saved us. And two, you know, we didn't need that bad seed in the village. You know, the village was a community, you know, and we wanted to keep it peaceful.
But it makes for great television. You love to hate them.
It's nice to know that there, you know, contrary to Rob's comments, that there was nothing intentional. It's unfortunate the way it was portrayed, but it's interesting and it's part of the red team's game, I think.
Have you guys spoken since?
With the red team, Tremana?
I have not spoken to them at all, and I actually hung out with them during our village times. Like, we even talked about musicals together, shared a few songs. Like, it was nice, and I thought they were really funny. And even after they captured us, I made a few jokes on the walk back to kind of lighten the situation because, you know, Jarick was really pissed at how he tackled me. Like, it was just a really, you know, heated situation. After that, it just, when we were standing on that, elimination panel, I was, literally blown by them, bringing up that comment. It's like, here you are trying to, work against these gay stereotypes, and the first thing you do when we question your athleticism is you bring up being gay. And I thought that was kind of in reverse of what they were fighting for. Here you are as two athletes, trying to prove that you're amazing athletes, and yet, you know, we say that we don't think that you're fast enough, and then you bring up, oh, because I'm gay. That wasn't it at all. Usually men who are that big are slow.
Yeah.
And honestly, Rob was much slower than me. If Jacob hadn't caught up to me and I didn't trip over that mountain of dirt, we wouldn't have been captured. Rob, I think, was a good 30 feet away from us. So
I noticed that.
I honestly don't see why Rob would even write an article about how Jarick was so upset at him. No, Jarick was upset with Jacob tackling me and getting captured on the second day. That's a lot to be mad about. Being gay is not an issue here.
Now,
Not at all.
James, I know you were the third gay member of the cast, right?
Yeah, there's a crowd.
Even though you never, I've not heard you say it yet because the red team I feel kind of came out and our characters, we are the gay strong men. That's kind of who they represented themselves as, which power to you, whatever. But you kind of you're not really identifying with that on the show. How have this affected you?
We'll see what happens next episode, and whatever happens from this point forward. But with Rob and Jacob's comments, I was a little blown away too, and I think they cut to a clip of me literally just stone cold staring at Rebecca's jaw, just going, what? Like, it took me by surprise because I did spend a lot of time with Jarick and Tremana over those course of the 4 days. I mean, I talked about musicals with Tremana too. Like, I got to know them pretty well. And I knew that this was not a gay issue whatsoever. I definitely think with Rob and Jacob, they're very passionate about wanting to make a statement or prove that they're breaking gay stereotypes, whether it is or isn't working for them. But for me, it's like it was taken to a whole new level where it didn't need to be. I was a little offended also being gay because I kind of feel like I get associated with their statements. And I don't feel that way about Jarick and Tremana. I can 100% tell you that they're far from homophobic. They're from Boston, for crying out loud. Like,
I was a little shocked.
Boston strong.
Boston strong.
I was a little shocked when Jacob made those comments because I didn't feel like there was any homophobic feelings from you, Jarick, or from anybody in general. But the way I do feel is you break stereotypes by actions, not words.
Yes.
And they keep pushing the fact that they're gay men who want to break stereotypes, but if you want people to stop relating you to being gay, then stop saying it. And I'm not homophobic, obviously, but my issue is, like I said, if you want to break the stereotype, do it by actions, and don't attack other people because you think you're homophobic, because I think that they probably have experienced maybe oppression in the past because they're gay, or stereotypes, or people making judgments on them, but they're bringing it to the show before anybody else they're making assumptions that people are automatically thinking they're not capable because they're gay, but no one said that yet. So I think that's why I was so shocked.
I think they were one of the most feared teams. And to say, like,
Jacob is huge.
They're huge. They're
upset.
big dudes.
Like, come on.
So because they're big, that's why you didn't think they would catch you, because you thought they'd be slow, not because they're gay. I want to give you guys a chance to voice it.
So I mean, I played Division I football, and I was undersized. Like, I was not the biggest person out there, not even close.
Like a Russell Wilson.
Yeah, right. And and when I'm out there, I guess my advantage was that I was smaller, so I was faster. I was quicker than these big guys. And, I can remember there was a time I was being chased by, there was a couple of crazy big guys on the team, and they were chasing me in the locker room, trying to beat me up, playing around, but trying to beat me up because I was a freshman. And I was faster than them. The big guys, they have trouble. They have more distance to cover. If they don't have good strides in their legs for the tall people, they're usually slower. And after the first hunt, I tried to watch as many people as I could, and I saw the red team run, and they weren't, the fastest out there. The person that I saw as the fastest was Antoine and Kareem. Those guys can move. I saw them move. They were moving, jumping.
They are speedy.
They are fast.
And I mean, I thought it was, ridiculous to not, I guess, look into everything and to automatically assume that it was because of their homosexuality that I felt that they couldn't catch me, because that wasn't at all it. And I mean, if you want to bring up, sexual orientation or race or whatever, I mean, I could have said, oh, well, you caught me because I'm black. But that's not, that's not the deal at all, and I don't think, it's funny because how absurd does that sound? How absurd does that sound?
There are a million reasons why they could have caught you.
No, exactly. So, I mean, and, I didn't stand up there and say, Luke, I didn't think they were going to catch me because, and they did catch me, and I think it's because I'm, I didn't do that.
Oh my God,
and
had you done that though? I would have jumped. I think that would have been too much for Rebecca.
And that's not, it wasn't at all it.
Who do you think could have caught you then? Who were you most afraid of?
So I was definitely fearful of the green team. I know that they're fast. I know, Antoine, we spoke, he played football, and the position he played is normally faster than the position that I played. And
what position did you played?
So I was a linebacker, and that was when I was heavier, and I've lost weight since, so I'm quicker than I was then. So, but Antoine definitely, he just looked fast when I saw him. Kareem looked quick. Eric and Shane, even though you make fun of how Shane runs, they were pretty quick. And I was surprised. I didn't know about Kirsten and Arlen until I saw this last episode. But they look fast. I never saw Kaliesha and Matt run. But because I can't lie, when I first saw the red team, I was like, big guys, let's focus on them.
Do you think it was better to be faster or more agile?
I would say agility is definitely, I would say, probably the better thing to have, because if you could maneuver through the trees and the rocks and the sticks, and I mean, you saw in when the lime team was being chased in the first episode, James ran under that branch.
Because I thought it was an obstacle that would prevent them from...
that was agile. Me, I would have got stuck. I'd have been like, oh, all right, you got me.
I'm out.
Can I be honest? The reason why I did that, though, is I was like, if we do get captured, this would be an awesome shot. People are like, look at James go, like Tom Cruise.
But I was like, oh, look at James get under there.
Oh, God.
So I want to talk about the teams that voted for the black teams and for the other team, lime team. You voted for the black team. Why'd you vote for the gray team? Sorry, my apologies. Whoa. You know what? It's only because I was hoping that Noelle and Sabrina were gonna go home because they were so ridiculous sticking up for the blue team. Sorry, lime team, you voted for the gray team.
We did.
What was the reasoning behind that?
First off, voting was really difficult, period. And this is the first time Rebecca and I got to vote in the elimination. So for us, it was not easy because we did like Jarick and Tremana a lot. We also liked Arlen and Kirsten a lot. And so it's like one of those things where it's like, well, they're both strong teams. What do we do? And at this point in the game, I felt like, because I didn't know about Arlen and Kirsten being so fast, but I knew I did not want Jarick chasing after Rebecca and I did not want Tremana chasing after us. Like, I felt more comfortable with Arlen and Kirsten chasing us at that time. And they also had the fishing gear. And they're big on providing for the village. You saw Arlen at the beginning of the episode, talking about the food and like making everyone feel comfortable about the village life. That I was like, they have this fishing gear. If we kick them out, that goes with them. So if they're going to fish for us, why not keep them? So there was more reasons to do that as far as resources at the time.
Yeah.
Did they make, like, one of the things that I wish we could see more of is kind of the deliberation of you guys back at camp, like the deals that are being made, like while you guys are in jail, because I think it's a very interesting concept to have these two teams that are against each other for elimination be stuck in such a small vicinity and have to create deals right next to each other with teams that they could basically hear you.
It's
awkward. What is that like? What was that whole process like for you guys?
Yeah, so I mean, Tremana, do you want to speak on it?
So I can begin and then you can finish. It was really kind of
teamwork.
It wasn't so much as stressful, but it's like I'm not one to beg, and I don't really like politics, so I kind of took a step back. I really like Arlen and Kristen, and I just was like, you know what? It's been great meeting y'all. Like, it's been a great time out here. And I pretty much kind of let Jarick take on, like, talking with folks. I was really honest about what I was there for and trying to help, young women who have been through commercial sexual trafficking and rape and abuse. And, Jarick is there for his students and trying to make sure that, they see to it that they get started off to college the right way. So for us, it was kind of like we're not here to, like, beg or plead or, do some kind of, like, tricky, sneaky things. It was more so like we're here, we're honorable people, and if you want us here, you want us here. We won't show you mercy when we're out there hunting you, but we will show you that we're going to put up a good fight alongside you, and that's what we're there for.
Absolutely. Shout out to my students, by the way. But I mean, I was like, I need to talk to as many people as I can. I wasn't trying to lie to anybody or manipulate anyone, but I pretty much what I did was I reiterated what Tremana and I were there for, and and people respected that. And you heard Antoine say, he goes, we have to think about, yes, their competition, but what are they there for? And I respect that so much that Antoine was thinking, if I don't get to win, I want someone that is here for a good reason to win as well. And I mean, that says so much about him. And that's one vote that I really appreciated the most was the green team, because I wasn't sure that they were going to vote for us.
Did anyone surprise you with their vote?
I would say the gold a little bit. I love the gold team, but I watched them talk to the yellow team the first night, when the yellow team was sent home, and I spoke with Chris and Nick, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna vote for the yellow team to stay. And then when they didn't vote for the yellow team to stay, I was like, they might do that to us. And when they came up and they were like, no disrespect to the pink team, I was pleased. I was pleased to see that the votes they were as close as they were. I was shocked when I was hoping that the teal team would vote for us, because when they were like, we know you guys are strong, but we want you guys to get the blue team out, but this and that. So
I thought the teal team was going to vote to keep you guys to stay, because they had rallied for that and they had mentioned that. I was surprised though that the gold team voted for pink, especially because, like you said, in the deliberation, it seemed like they supported the pink, although they did call out blue for trying to support the pink. It was because the blue was using the pink.
Yeah.
So I was surprised that the gold team voted for you guys to stay, actually.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to vote the other way.
Oh, yeah, it was great. And, you know, our plans were to definitely, you know, go after that blue devil if we were to stay. But, you know, we didn't get that opportunity.
Tremana, did it feel good for you to tell them that you don't accept their apology? Because it seemed really personal.
I mean, I'm one of those folks, like, you rub me the wrong way, that's just it. So, you know, when they had come over and they were like, you know, we're not going to vote you off, we're going to keep you here, you guys are awesome. I knew that was like a load of crap before, but when we got up there and it's like, I'm sorry, the last thing you can tell me is I'm sorry if you don't mean it. Like, you're just wasting your breath. I would have preferred a silent, just smack the talent on and walk away. And I would have been like, all right, I see where your game is at. But don't tell me you're sorry.
They did tell you they were going to vote for you to stay then?
You know, They
did. They really did.
It.
They come up there like, you know, you're our pros. Like, we're here for you. We understand. Like, this is like totally unexpected. We want you here. And then the next minute, they're voting us off and telling us that they're sorry. But
Liars!
Right alongside
I'm sorry,
us.
they make me laugh because I don't believe anything they
Oh,
say.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
believe anything they do. They're
I
a
mean,
wild card.
You saw in the first episode, Eric was like, "Oh, everyone loves you guys." To the yellow team, you guys are gonna stay, and then you know, and that's not what happened.
They
So
basically said the same crap, and I was like, "You're lying to me." So I refused to speak with them after they were like, "Oh, we're gonna keep you here." I just turned around and walked away. I was like, "So, Arlen and Kristen, let's see what we can do with our spare time now." Because it's just like, who are you trying to fool here? Like, Jarick and I know way better than to trust you two scoundrels.
yeah, just so everyone knows as well, the jail is not comfortable.
No.
Sleeping on it's because you go from the bed, you know, which wasn't comfortable, the metal bed to the ground, and it was awful.
Do you have sleeping bags?
Yeah, we were able to have sleeping bags, but you're still it's direct
On the ground.
just on the ground, just dirt. Not
You know, the ground just steals all of your body heat. Like,
Yep.
you're out there and you're trying to stay warm and keep warm. You're under these tarps and these blankets. Then you got the ground that's just, like, sucking everything out of you. Like, it might be a little more plush than that, like, cardboard and metal bunk bed, but it really is not letting you hold in any heat at all.
definitely the worst sleeping experience I've ever had in my life.
Those elements, I mean, like every episode I feel like I watch, I'm going to just have more and more props for what all of you guys went through, no matter how long you were out there. That is rough. That is super, super rough. I mean, if you're listening and, you know, you have never been camping, usually when you're camping, you have more amenities than what you guys had. And like, I mean, and I love that.
Absolutely.
I love the scene of at the very beginning when you guys are eating your rations,
Oh.
and Teal Team is like, I want more food. I want more food.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
Why do the guys get more food than I do? But how was the food?
Well, to me, I changed my diet before even going out there. I cut out all sugar, so I wouldn't be craving anything like that. So I was able to adjust to the rations quite nicely. But Rebecca, on the other hand, they had a shot of her just completely doing this. She was not having the oatmeal. It was hard for her, but.
Was it hard for you?
Oh, absolutely. Food is like a big part of my life. You know, food and I have a very good relationship, and to only have, you know, I'm not picky, but there was no flavor in what I was eating. It was just eating bland food, so it was rough.
Was it rough for you, Tremana?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I love to cook, and, like, not having, like, the control over what it is that I'm eating was so painful. And, like, I eat oatmeal normally for breakfast. Like, that's my go-to. But I throw in, like, a spoonful of brown sugar, and I'm A-okay. The almonds, they were delicious. Like, I can have almonds all the time. It just was the fact that, like, this is our one meal at 7 a.m., and then 7 p.m. comes around in the evening, and then you're getting some more crap. So it was like, there's no, like, in between. There's nothing to look forward to.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yep.
Unless you make it to the supply station.
You don't eat for 12 hours from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.?
No.
You're on a hunt.
Not at all.
Being a girl, because Nikita and Jade said the girls got less. Tremana, did you feel like it was unfair that the boys got way more food than you?
I probably think it was kind of fair. I mean, why do they need more?
Yeah.
I understand we're all, like, you know, trying to, like, get the most out of this experience, but I mean, I'm a really small woman. I'm only 5 feet tall and I weigh 108 pounds. There's no, like, need for me to have, like, double the size of Jarick. And I even ate less when I was out there so that he could have more so we would be better as a team, because I don't need that much to get by. And, like, even before I went on the show, I started doing the paleo diet, and I was like, all right, I can probably handle this.
Yeah.
But I feel like the rations were pretty good. In the beginning, you know, they made us share one bowl. So it got nicer when they were like able to give us like extra food for, you know, two partners in a team, not just one bowl for one team.
Wow.
I'm surprised you guys kept moving all day.
Hey.
I'm surprised too.
Hey, we didn't even have water when
Yeah.
you're out there.
Yeah.
How much weight did you guys lose?
Oh man, it's crazy because I know I look like I'm super fit and all, but when we were voted off and I was able to see myself in the mirror, number one was crazy because I had not showered in however long. I smelled terrible, but I
horrid.
I had a 4-pack, which I did not go on the show with. So I was happy about that.
Like, oh, look at this.
But it was literally from the first day, sleeping in that sleeping bag was very difficult because my shoulders. But the last day I was there, I could move around in that thing. So I mean, it was crazy. I lost weight fast.
What about you, Tremana? Did you lose a lot of weight?
I kind of stayed around the same. It wasn't like I lost a ton. Like, I don't really lose weight like that very easily. I don't gain it easily. So I was kind of stagnant on it.
Not much to go.
But it was surely, like, super, super hard to stay, like, warm. I had, like, the coldest. I almost got frostbite, like, the first night there. My toes were, like, black and purple. It was super, super hard. So, like, you know, sharing the bunk with him was kind of nice because he was able to, like, partly, like, cover half of my legs so I would at least stay mildly warm. But I think being on the smaller end of things benefited me in terms of food. But on the warm side, like, I literally died. It was like being out in the Arctic.
Well, we're going to have to wrap things up, unfortunately, soon. But before we get into some predictions and some viewers' questions, I just want to remind all of you to rate us and comment on iTunes. You can find us on AFTERBUZZ TV through iTunes, as well as download and purchase the movie Serial Buddies. If you do that, all the benefits all the proceeds go to helping make AFTERBUZZ run, and it's a great movie. It's a really funny serial killer comedy, if you can. So it's a great movie, and it was made by Maria and Kevin and some fellow AfterBuzzers. So tune into that. But do you guys want to get into some predictions?
Yes.
Let's do it.
I've been waiting for this part. Okay, they had a really exciting preview for next.
Let it happen.
I've never heard that before.
And go.
And that was my first time hearing that.
That scared me.
I was like,
am I the only one hearing this right now?
So I had a really interesting preview for next week. It was all over the place, but I think I've pieced together what's happening. And I want to call it. Okay, my prediction is they had the gold team say they wanted to hunt, but I don't think the gold team is going to be the hunt team. You know who's going to be the hunt team?
Green
It's going to be the
team.
blue team.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be
The
green.
blue team is going to be the hunt team, and the reason why Kaliesha, I know you're listening, the reason why Kaliesha calls Noelle and Sabrina shady is because the blue team is going to use the black team to help capture the other teams, and they're not going to tag them out. And that's why Noelle and Sabrina will be like, "No, we'll do anything. We're not shady," because they'll do anything the blue team has. They've proved it in this second episode. They defended the blue team without even knowing about the sandwiches, which I think they did because the blue team and them are sleeping together. But that's why I think
They're just keeping each other warm.
Sorry, they're sleeping together. And that's why I think Kaliesha is going to be so mad at them, because the blue team and the black team are going to team up when the blue team is the hunt team.
I really like your prediction.
That's my prediction.
I hope that happens.
Yeah.
It's super
Oh,
exciting.
snap.
James, I know, like, you kind of, you know what's going to happen next week. So maybe, do you have any viewer questions that you might want to throw out there?
Sure. For Jarick and Tremana,
Yeah.
what was the best thing about Capture for you guys?
The best thing. Tremana, you go first.
Okay, I will say having the experience of, like, trekking through the woods with Jarick, it was so much fun. Like, you might have seen in the commercial, like, we had this thing where we did stump dances. Every chance we got to, like, take a quick breath, we would just, like, wild out and just, like, do these, like, awesome stump dances. So I really miss those moments of just kind of being out there, enjoying the nature, and just, like, getting
absolutely.
jiggy with it.
Yeah, you remind me. I forgot all about those dances. Those dances were crucial in sanity, and you know, so that was definitely a fun thing to do. Just dancing in the woods. Never danced in the woods before, so that was definitely a fun time. And just the whole experience. I've never done anything like that in my life, and that's one thing that I'll never forget.
Yeah. So are you guys, I know when on the show you guys were friends without benefits. So have benefits come into the picture at all?
So
Can you elaborate on that a
I
little
felt like you were asking. Define benefits.
How about you define benefits?
I mean, Tremana cooks for me. We spend time with each other. I find that very beneficial. Tremana's my boo. Tremana's my boo. I'm just leave it at that. Tremana, you can say anything you want, but Tremana's my boo.
Tremana, you his boo?
Whoa. Why are we leaving this up to me here?
Oh, I feel like I'm so excited.
But, yes, I am his significant other at this point, and we decided to take it there after the show. I think it was a pretty good.
Oh my God! AfterBuzz exclusive.
I heard it here first.
How did I not know this? Or did I? What in the heck?
James' face right now.
We're good at keeping it under wraps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
But let's just say, if you ever want to see, I'm not sure if I should make this girl my girlfriend, spend some time with her in the woods, and you'll figure it out.
I'm sure you guys got super close. Well, congratulations. That's so exciting.
Thank you.
Well,
Real fast, Keetin, I
yeah.
want to know what you think's gonna happen next episode.
What do I
What do you
think?
want to happen?
Oh gosh. Well, oh man. Well, I should have said it last week that I thought you guys were gonna end up together after the show. I really hope Blue Team. I think that's a great prediction, and I really hope that happens. I know the people playing with Blue Team hate them, but I think it's such great TV, and I think it's with a new kind of game like this, you have to form new types of strategy, and I think they're the biggest threat when it comes to strategy. I feel like they're the ones taking opportunities, they're taking big risks. So I really appreciate that. I want to see my Lime team come out and kick some butt and hear a little bit more about their story.
Well, go back and watch the promo because Rebecca and I were in it.
I know, it's exciting. But I think Black Team is gonna get a lot of haters.
A lot of haters.
I can
next
see that.
week.
I can definitely see that.
Well, do you have any final words, Tremana and
Jarick?
No. I thought you were gonna start. I was waiting. I was
It was an awesome opportunity to chat with you about the show. I had such a great time, and it was awesome, kind of sort of meeting you.
It was great to hear your voice, Tremana.
Thanks, Tremana.
Definitely.
And Jarick?
Thanks for having me here. It's great to be here. I wish Tremana and I lasted on the show longer, but it was a fantastic experience. And look forward to spending some more time in the woods at some time in my life.
And where can we find you guys if we want to follow up?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at JAY_WAKA. Jaywaka.
Jaywaka. Tremana?
My Twitter handle is Tremanalicious. It's just my first name, LICIOUS, and on Instagram, Tremana Diamond.
And you can find me on Twitter at KeetinM33 as well as Instagram at the same name.
And I'm on Instagram at Mr. James Wally and on Twitter at James Wallington.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram under Donald Romain. And I just really wanted to say real quick, Jarick and Tremana, I think you guys are a great team, great people. I'm really glad we got to see another side of you guys and so much of you in the second episode because it was just amazing. And I'm really sad that you guys aren't here.
I know. Call in again. Call in. Give us your
Oh, I
opinions.
absolutely will, anytime.
Surprise us like Kaliesha.
Let us know when you're engaged.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, jeez.
From Bing.com,
right,
executive
ciao with y'all
producers Maria
soon.
Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.